Joe Burrow-less Bengals urged to make Shedeur Sanders trade as NFL legend slams rookie's Ravens stance. Cincinnati Bengals fans can't help but fear their 2025 season is already over after Joe Burrow was placed on injured reserve. The franchise quarterback exited Sunday's Week 2 win against the Jacksonville Jaguars with a toe injury, and is now expected to miss 3 months of NFL action after he elected to undergo surgery. That kind of time frame would put him on course to return sometime in December, at the earliest. While Cincinnati have made their best start to a season since 2018, and are 2-0 thanks to backup Jake Browning's heroics at the weekend, Burrow's injury means their playoff hopes have taken a huge hit. Only time will tell what the Bengals will do next, either ride it out with Browning, as ESPN insider Dan Graziano has outlined in his latest TalkSport USA notebook, or trade for quarterback cover. Should Cincinnati choose the latter option, there are plenty of intriguing names out there, none more so than rookie Shedeur Sanders. Bengals urged to make big trade for Browns star. Sanders, who suffered an all-time draft slide before landing with the Bengals' AFC North rival Cleveland Browns, has not yet seen the field in the regular season. But he remains one of the most talked-about quarterbacks in the league, and some fans believe he's the answer to Cincinnati's prayers. If the Bengals want to save their season, you make the trade for Shedeur Sanders, period, one wrote on X. Bengals should trade for Shedeur Sanders and have him lead them to the playoffs if Burrow is out for an extended amount of time, another said. The Bengals should trade for Shedeur Sanders and start him for the remainder of the 2025 season. That would be, legendary, a third suggested. Bengals need to trade for Shedeur Sanders. He plays just like Joe Burrow, and the Bengals won't miss a beat, a fourth wrote. Even legendary NFL wide receiver Dez Bryant posed the question, sharing a graphic of the quarterback in a Cincinnati uniform and asking his ex-followers, should the Bengals go grab Shedeur Sanders? Can Browning lead Bengals in Burrow's absence? A quarterback trade, especially for an AFC North rival like Sanders, would prove tricky for the Bengals. In fact, since 1973, the franchise has only made 2 in-season player acquisitions via trade, although both of those did come in the last 5 years. But all signs point to the Bengals riding it out with their backup. An undrafted free agent in 2019, Browning didn't play a regular season snap until 2023, when Burrow went down. That year, he went 4-3 in 7 starts, with 1,936 passing yards, 12 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Browning showed he had the ability to execute Zach Taylor's offensive scheme during that run, and also led the Bengals to a memorable 31-27 win against Jacksonville when he stepped into Burrow's shoes on Sunday. He threw 21 seconds for 241 yards and 2 touchdowns, and despite 3 interceptions, scored the go-ahead TD on a 1-yard sneak with 18 seconds left. If he can cut out those turnovers and replicate his heroics through the air and on the ground, the Bengals will have a shot at staying afloat. I feel very confident in Jake, Coach Taylor told reporters this week. I think that Jake has proven his caliber in this league, and he can help us win football games and contend for all the things we want to contend for. Sanders slammed for Ravens snub. While some fans are hoping to see Shedeur pull on a Bengals jersey this season, the player himself might be less keen on a trade. Over the weekend, it emerged that the rookie had told the Baltimore Ravens he didn't want to be drafted there back in April, because he didn't want to sit behind 2-time MVP Lamar Jackson. If the Bengals do make a call, he could have a chance in Burrow's absence, but would have no hope of seeing the field once the franchise star is back. Clearly, the rookie wants his shot at playing, but his decision to snub the Ravens has this week been criticized by Cam Newton. If I'm Shedeur, you would ideally want to learn behind a guy like Lamar Jackson for this particular reason and this particular reason only. Not a lot of players can really cope with your star power, with your stardom, right? The NFL legend said. And let's really give credit where credit is due. At 28 years old, being a phenomenal athlete, the thing that I respect a guy like Lamar Jackson the most, we've never heard him have any off-the-field issues. He's been a stand-up guy, and all of our opinions have always led to his on-field performance. Not a lot of people can relate to what Shedeur Sanders has been through in his whole life, and that right there serves even more to make him a better player, because it's the totality of the position. I think Lamar Jackson would have been able to relate to him in many ways. Stay up to date with the latest from the NFL across all platforms. Follow our dedicated TalkSport USA Facebook page and subscribe to our TalkSport USA YouTube channel for all the news, exclusives, interviews, and more. The Cincinnati Bengals world turned upside down when Joe Burrow went down with yet another injury scare. It wasn't just the strained calf or the whispers about long-term durability. It was the sobering realization that their franchise quarterback might not be the Iron Man they once believed him to be. And with the AFC North heating up like a pressure cooker, every move matters. The chatter didn't take long to spread. The Bengals need a quarterback. They need one now. And Shedeur Sanders might just be the answer. The Shedeur factor. Shedeur Sanders' story has been anything but conventional. The son of the magnetic Deion coach Prime Sanders, he arrived in the NFL with confidence, swagger, and a refusal to settle. Before he even put on an NFL jersey, he stirred waves by nixing the Baltimore Ravens' attempt to draft him. The reasoning? He didn't want to play backup to Lamar Jackson. Some loved it. Some hated it. But one thing was undeniable. Shedeur wasn't lacking in belief. Now in Cleveland with the Browns, Shedeur's future feels like it's written in pencil rather than permanent ink. The Browns, ever unpredictable, already have Joe Flacco lumbering through reps, veteran expectations, and a locker room divided over what direction the franchise should take. That volatility has put Sanders' name in circulation as a possible trade piece, and with Burrow shelved, Cincinnati suddenly looks like the ideal landing spot. The legends slam. But as the Bengals brass quietly weighed options, a legend of the game, let's call him a Hall of Famer who's never been shy with a microphone, had choice words for Sanders' earlier Ravens snub. You don't turn down Baltimore. You don't turn down Lamar Jackson. That's arrogance at its worst. If you're a rookie, you take your lumps, you learn, and you wait. That's how greatness is built. Shedeur wanted the red carpet rolled out instead. The words stung. For a rookie quarterback trying to plant his flag in the league, criticism from the old guard carries weight. But Sanders, ever defiant, doubled down. I didn't come here to be a backup, he fired back when asked about the criticism. I came here to lead. That's who I am. That's what I do. The response divided fans. Some saw immaturity, others saw raw, unfiltered confidence. But as Cincinnati's quarterback situation grew more desperate, the conversation shifted from personality clashes to possibility. Bengals crossroads. The Bengals are at a crossroads.